So, what's it going to be? Is it going to be the power of love or the love of power? And most of the world is working off this one belief system, okay? The love of power. I can remember when I used to work off that belief system, not just in my personal life, but in my business life. Because when I first owned my first clinic, okay, and I can tell you this, that it was called the Wolf Clinic. And the Wolf Clinic was in the top 100,000 of all the websites in the world. Most people don't know that about me. That was many years ago. And I'll tell you, back then, it was all about the love of power, because I needed to feel powerful, because I was coming from a poverty consciousness. Now, you can come from a poverty consciousness on a financial level, emotional level, okay? All right? Or even on a business level. Now, I want to tell you something. What would you rather do? What type of clinic would you like to go to? A clinic that has the love of power? Or a clinic that's going to teach you not just the power of love, but the power of self-love and self-care? You know, when people talk about the greatest medical clinic, the greatest hospital, they'll talk about Mayo. Mayo Hospital, Mayo Clinic, whatever you want to call it, as far as I'm concerned, has created more problems for me in my life than most places, because they're noted that they have the best surgeons, the best physicians, the best of everything. Really? Why don't we really take a look and pull back all the curtains and look at their success level? Seriously. Okay? All right? BS baffles brains. Do you understand? The majority of the population will never do any research when it comes to how to be financially successful, how to be emotionally successful, how to be physically successful. To do that, you would actually have to master, okay, master the art of erasing and replacing. What? Erasing and replacing what? Well, parts of your personality, that's for sure. That's for sure. I don't care what the medical hospital is, and I don't. The reality is this, that one isn't getting more success than the other. One's getting more money, more hype, more marketing. Yeah, you can sell anything to anyone, can't you? You can sell, you know what, on a stick. Just put a little bit of chocolate on, some sprinkles. Make it look pretty. The reality is, I'm not downing it, because I'll tell you something. I always say this, that, you know, my one daughter wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for medical care, because she was in a state of emergency. But the reality is this, is whether you want to believe this or not, the state of emergency is going on 24/7 now, because medical care has become health care where nobody really cares. What am I getting to? Well, I'm going to say things, and I'm going to tell you something. I had a conversation last night with 4 of my colleagues that you might even know their names. They're fairly up there. And they were just talking, and we were talking about how I'm getting myself into trouble all the time, and we're just talking about how it's like this. The more that we tell the truth, the more we get into trouble. And it is the truth, the best that I know of it. I really don't have a hidden agenda, everyone. I have no hidden agenda. You know, I would never, ever intentionally lie, rip somebody off. And if I did, I'd apologize. So if you felt I've hurt you this year, I just want to apologize, but know that I didn't mean to. But I have to take people to the edge. I have to let them see that if they go off that cliff, they may not come back. They may not come back. I was talking to a gentleman on the phone here just a few minutes ago. Okay? And he says to me, Dr. Wolf, I had a consultation, and he didn't even have a consultation. All he did was call and get some information from us, because anybody can. We're going to give you information. We're going to support you, even if you don't want to buy our products. That's okay, because that's what it's about. I get that. But the reality is, he said, you know, I had a blocked lymph gland in my eye that was putting pressure on my eye, and they said I was going to lose my eyesight and that I needed surgery. I said, so what did you do? And he goes, well, I was talking to one of your colleagues, Dr. Sage Wolf, and he told me, because I told him, I said, that's all you did? And he said, yeah, well, because I have expenses problem. I don't have a lot of money. And I said, so what'd you do? He said, well, I used Bright Eyes, and I put Bright Eyes in my eyes a few times a day. And I went back to the doctor, and that lymph node that was blocked, that growth was gone. So here's the reality. That was just Bright Eyes, which is a nanofulvic. We're the only ones that make a fulvic that you can actually put in your eyes. I'm coming out with some of the most amazing things, but the reason why I'm here is this. I don't think that the World Healing and Training Center here in Ixtapa Palace is going to stay open. The reality is this: wherever we go, we need to protect our vibration. I'm really thankful for having the opportunity to actually create such a large healing and wellness for the world. We have people coming from all over the world every day. But the reality is I want a place where we can really be able to manage and keep the frequency really high, the training really, really high, because it's all about training patients to become practitioners, their own practitioners, to find their own authentic self, to understand the erase and replace. You know, just know this, buckle up, baby. Most of you are going to never be able to actually turn the suffering button off completely, just down. Because we're unwilling to observe ourselves with unconditional love and then make those changes that aren't us. And I don't want to get into how that happens and everything like that, but the whole world's been screwed over. And the whole world, even those that think that they're in charge of us. They call themselves authority. They're the ones that got screwed over the most. The longer you go to any government accredited school, the more you are a fool. And I know, it's like this, like I said last night, I was talking to 3 other colleagues of mine that are really big in the health business, and they just said, well, we're going to piss a lot of people off like we do every day. And I said, well, I guess that's what I'll do until I decide that, guess what, my time is going to become mine and I don't want to play this game anymore. But, the next move that I make will be to actually create a showcase healing center. I don't think people really understand what healing's all about, because first of all, you've got to have great circulation. Has anybody ever noticed that a person who leaves their body, their spirit leaves, okay, how much circulation is in that body? Zippo. Okay, has anybody ever noticed that people that are sick aren't actually sick, they're in a healing phase, and all the energy that's left is trying to battle the infection and the inflammation from not knowing how to love oneself? The power of love, the power of love, the power of self-love, the power of self-care. You tell me a hospital that teaches the power of self-love and self-care, and I'll tell you, you're like, really? Why don't you tell me who that is? Oh, I really love my doctor. Well, really? Well, if they're not empowering you and they're not returning you back to nature, okay, because nature is source energy, okay? But let me get back on track here. So what I want to do, I don't want to be big, okay? I want to be big in a universal way that we're touching the hearts of millions and millions of people around the world. Whether they buy from us or they come to us or they train with us or they get treated by us, if they can't make it here, we should still be giving everything we got. We should be empowering people from the moment they rise till they close their eyes, even if they can't afford anything. We should be trying to give them everything, which is the discovering of their authentic self, because inside everyone is a healer. okay, is a very powerful human being if that human being believes in the power of love. But the reality is this. Everybody wants the love of power because they feel that their power has been taken away. And that's all because of the programs that you've gotten. Okay, from who? Well, from most religion. I'm not saying yours. I'm saying from bloody well almost every school, okay, because every book that's ever been written has been tweaked and rewritten by the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and there isn't a system or a corporation that isn't toxic, turned and twisted upside down and inside out. The reality is I need you to fall in love with you. I need you to say, I'm going to come first and foremost. We're going to be creating what we call a showcase clinic where people will come, and guess what? They have to want to take a look at something that isn't, you are not your personality, baby. You are not your personality, so you need to get that. You're not your personality if you feel drained of energy. You're not your personality if you react and attack, whether it's someone else or yourself. You're not your personality if you go around judging. Oh yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's how they won, okay? And don't give me the Mayo Clinic. Don't give me the Sinai Clinic. Don't give me all this stuff, okay? Don't tell me that giving chemo and radiation to children, okay, and then giving them cookies and ice cream and Coca-Cola after they've had their chemo or radiation. Don't you dare even talk to me about that. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I have the right to say that. I'm not threatened by anyone. I'm going to live in fear. When people want to go through all their medical stuff that their doctor has said, which is a medical doctor, which is not a health doctor, I don't need to know all that. I just need to know what are the symptoms that a person has, because there are no diseases. But give me those symptoms, because the only purpose for disease names is to give you an idea what part of the body is totally out of alignment. We know that the person is emotionally out of alignment when they have any disease, whether it's in their toe or their nose, it doesn't really matter. So you need to get that. You know, and if I cut your toe off because there's a tumor on it, did I get rid of the problem? Was the lack of surgery the problem? Was the lack of chemo, radiation the problem? Or what about the lack of petroleum medication that you call drugs? The reality is here is that I'm going to create a showcase. And I want you to think about this, and then I want you to just sit back and think about, am I just somebody who's arrogant or somebody who's got an axe to grind, or am I just telling my brothers and sisters you deserve better, you deserve more, you need to find your roar, okay? And then protect the floor around you. Protect yourself, respect yourself, and honor yourself. And that's what I'm going to be doing. In this new clinic that I will reconstruct. And understand something. You know what the main thing about a clinic is? It's not about the walls, okay? Because if you look at any hospital, it's a box. Well, we need to start thinking outside the box. And the reality is if we're practitioners and we don't have our patients, our clients thinking outside the box, okay? They're going to be put into a pine box. Well, that's just as good as it gets. Wow. Medical science can't figure it out. All the greatest minds came together, and we just can't figure it out yet. Of course, you never will. You never will figure it out. Isn't that something? You never will figure it out. They're going to tell you you can't figure it out. It's not for yours to figure out. So the reality is when people come to us, they will have to fill out forms, because I want to make sure that they're actually going to buy into my Kool-Aid. That would be self-love and self-care. No more do I need to come from a poverty mentality. Not that I'm not now, but I'm not going to do it. I mean, you know what? We could open up a clinic and we could just run people through and just, come on, bring in the money, 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 money. I'm not going to do that. That's really not what it's all about. It's never been about that for me since I came back into business 10 years ago. I took 8 years off because I needed a break. I didn't even want to be in health anymore. But the reality is I do want to be in health, and I want to know, and I want to show people, okay, that we can love ourselves as a human spirit nation. And the reality is the people that come to the clinic, I want them to understand too, they're going to have to buy into the self-love, self-care thing. And the reality is, if you don't want to change parts of your personality, then you're just going to come and go, well, it did work for me, but then it doesn't work anymore. Well, that would be because you didn't change your personality. And if you didn't change your personality, then you didn't change what you do in your spare time, and you didn't change your mind, and you didn't change what you were going to eat, drink, or think, okay? You didn't say the most important thing that I protect is my vibration. And I get it. I know how hard it is. My God, if you get really sick, okay, which is your body just being way out of whack with harmony, so much infection, so much inflammation, there are no autoimmune diseases. There's just the body attacking itself because you were doing that on an emotional level first. So what we want to do is we want to teach people that it's okay to love yourself and you won't go to hell for it. You can totally love yourself, totally let yourself off the hook. Totally get rid of the I'm a sinner and I'm just trying to work my way back to heaven syndrome. You can totally get rid of the idea that you ever failed, because the reality is if you embrace failure, you'll be the greatest success in your life. Because if you understood that you have to fail, like I didn't fail, but I didn't actually pull off what I wanted to, but this brings me a lot closer. I proved that we could do amazing, what people would call miracles, but they're not miracles. Once you understand this, it's all about circulation. You know what? We carry and this is not a sales pitch, we carry the most powerful energy medicine equipment in the world. Think about this. What if you had a device that had 25,000 volts that was in a love harmonic that actually could cause bone to grow back together, actually cause a cut spine grow back together, that could actually shut down stage 4 inflammation in cells, that could actually decalcify the mitochondria so they could spin 2,500 revolutions instead of 300 to 600 in one treatment? Now, that doesn't say it's going to stay if you didn't change the personality, because your personality is your greatest healer or your greatest way to stay sick or to become sick again. Well, that's called Cellsonic. You know, they talk about the med bed that's coming out that's going to cure everyone. Well, that's just, I don't believe that. I believe that's a dysfunctional belief system, because all that is a PMF device. And we have what's called a sentient element that is a Tesla coil, and that's all that bed's going to be. And I'm telling you, when people use the Tesla coil, amazing things happen, because you can program into your cell phone absolutely any frequency on the planet, and it's got the most powerful driver. It's the driver that's the most important. And the instrumentation inside that can run any frequency for any viral, bacterial, fungal, or any condition, whether it's an emotional, physical, or a nutritional one, because everything is based on frequency. Yeah, but let's not stop there. Okay, so people will come to us and we'll do like a perfect day consult. We'll get them on the juice bar, or maybe we'll put them on an advanced water fast. We'll get them to do ultimate coffee enema. You know, we've taken everything and hacked everything out there to make it so much better. Okay, and then we get them to do that stuff. But then what we do is we get them to do things like belly button therapy. We get them to do clapping, the pelvic squats, and we get them to do, like I said, the ultimate coffee enema. And then guess what? We get them to use Avicin, which increases the microcirculation in the human body more than any other device in the world. How about this? 66%. The only other device that can do it is 33%. It'll increase your circulation and microcirculation in the human body more than what? A hyperbaric chamber. Okay? It'll actually detoxify your lymph system 400% more than a sauna. Okay, an infrared sauna. People don't get this. And then, of course, we'll use our Bioptron light therapy, which is full spectrum with a fluorine lens, okay, which is actually, fluorine is actually C60. So now we'll utilize these things and have an energy medicine room that people can come into and go in there at least twice a day, as long as they're coming to our clinic. And then we'll try to get them to buy into the idea of taking some of this equipment home. But here's the deal. Think about this. Think about if you were on a high vibrational diet with high vibrational thoughts, and the nutraceuticals that you're on, okay, they're all based on the highest frequency and energy bringing into the body. Like, you can take my nutraceuticals and go on a fast. They won't turn on your digestive tract, but they'll turn you on. They'll turn on stem cell making, autophagy. Yesterday we started our 2-week preparation, because in 2 weeks from yesterday we're going to kick off a 6-day advanced water fast, which some people take as long as 40 days on this. So let's say we put all this stuff together. Now, it seems like a lot, but it isn't. You know, we're going to take you step by step. This is a love learning thing. You know what I got? You know, here's what I love, right? So over the last year and a half, we've got people coming to us, and people will not even call me, and they'll show up and they'll go, hi, I'm here for 10 days. I've got stage 3 or 4 cancer, and I need you to cure me, which there's no such thing. And even if we were to bring the cancer down, which is just inflammation and infection, it would come back if there wasn't a personality change. Now, because I'm such a controversial big mouth, which I get it, I know I am. I know I'm a controversial big mouth and I don't care. Until I decide, there will be one day that you will see me and then you will not see me anymore. Because you know what? Welcome to a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure called Planet Earth. And you know what? Someday I'm just going to go, you know what? I just want to float. I just want to float, okay? But you know what? It's all about the power of love, isn't it? Okay? It's about the power of self-love. And what if I really was that crazy that that was my main purpose and passion, my drive, my dream? Well, it is. And then guess what? Someday I'm just going to go, well, you know what? I've done my part to try to get them to fill up their own heart. So the reality is I really want to make this showcase clinic, and then I want to show the world that we're not going to run people through like some mass production assembly line. We don't do that here, but we're going to do it in a different way because we're coming out with an app that's going to blow people's minds, and we're coming out with a platform that I'll be able to bring some of the most powerful people on, people that know way more than me, more knowledgeable than me with things. And they'll be coming on and doing their own show, and nobody can shut us down. I've taken everything I have financially to do this. And this is my gift. And I need you to find your gift, but you won't find your gift until you love, honor, and respect yourself, because you're just never going to have enough energy. If I don't take care of me, how am I going to take care of this project? It's just not going to happen. The project's not going to happen. So you know what? February 22nd, we could still be open or we could be closed. Chances are we will be closed. Because guess what? When I opened up this healing center here, the promises that were made to me, almost all of them were broken. And they weren't just broken. We were thrown obstacles where people have tried to control us. Oh yeah, just love it, eh, chicken? Oh wow, you know, he's just too much to handle. You know, let's control him. Oh wow, you know. People that thought that they could do this, or you know what I'm talking about. The reality is you got to mind your own business, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, I'm not going to struggle. We need to create an environment that if I'm not struggling, then my patients won't have to struggle. But the patients don't struggle when they come here. They love it. You know, I get about 20 calls a day right now that they're going, you're leaving, you're shutting February 22nd. Well, I have to say that in case I do. And there's a good chance that I'm going to put everything into containers, and then I'm going to open up a showcase healing place, and I'm going to show the world that we can do it right. And I'm going to show the world that Mother Nature and God Almighty is the healer. But that will never happen until you take massive personal action and fill up your heart and totally get rid of the chokehold on yourself, whether it's religion, okay, or you're a sinner, or you're a failure, or you feel you don't deserve something. That's the first thing we've got to erase. And then people are going, you'll get yours, you'll get yours. You know what? He dares say that? Okay, he dares say that? He should fear God Almighty. I don't fear God Almighty. You write your own story on your God. I'll write the story on my God, which is that which has never ever judged me, because it was just made up by mankind that wants to be a manipulator so that we can have medical manipulation, because the worse you think about yourself, the worse you treat yourself, you will let them come in and chop stuff out of you and replace things. And that's why we are where we are today, and it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. But it will get better. But it will get better. But it's going to get worse before it gets better. And that's the way it's going to be, because human beings don't change. Do they change? No, because there's one thing. The caveman response is fear. You know what? I could get on here and start creating. Okay, I love this part. I don't listen to CNN anymore. I listen to alternative news. Yeah, and that scares the crap out of you too. This is why I don't get on here talking about anything except you and loving you, caring for you, empowering you, detoxification, how to not eat, but how to nourish your mind, how to nourish your body. Nothing else matters. And if I can't do that, I don't want to do anything. I will walk. I will walk. If I can't be honest, if I can't be truthful, and guess why? And I don't go around saying this because I'm not religious. I want that which created the universe to be proud of me, because my spirit would not exist if it wasn't for that. And I know nothing about that. Everybody's going to tell me, well, he says he doesn't know God. What a stupid fool he is. Really? I think I'm being smart because I don't know about you, but I've only heard that God is many different things, and everybody's making up their own glory story. And the reality is, I'm going to make mine up. Is that okay? And mine is this, is that guess what? I want to rock that thing. So it's all about frequency. I want to bring my frequency up. I want to try to bring my frequency up with everybody, but I got to hold the line too. You know, you got to understand something. Somebody like myself is coming up against almost all belief systems. You do know that, right? I'm not telling you not to go to the medical system. I'm telling you I won't go to the medical system. I'm not telling you I'm probably never going to need them in my whole life, because guess what? I love and respect myself. So I'm not going to get into car accidents. I'm not going to throw myself down the stairs. And guess what? Because I lengthen, strengthen, detox, and tone in the morning and at night, and because I eat right, drink right, think right, you won't hear me, okay, falling down and, oh my God, you hear he's in the hospital? Did you hear that he's sick? Did you hear that they just diagnosed him with a disease? A disease means I'm out of harmony, and I'm not out of harmony. Oh, but you know what? I'll have people texting me going, you'll get yours, Dr. Wolf. Blasphemy. Oh, really? Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, sure. Just understand something. You create your own hell. You create your own heaven. That's it. Okay? And the stories that are the oldest are the ones that are full of you know what. Okay, just because it's been told for a long time, strong time, doesn't make it right and doesn't make it truthful. So I'm not buying into it. If I don't like the story, I'm not going to do it. Oh, and then you're going to tell me that I'm going to be punished or something. Yeah, really. So understand, I'm not going into the bloody new year, okay, all right, except one thing. Every day, every moment, I want to become a new me. My vibration is going to come higher, which means that I'm going to be breaking away from the herd even more. So instead of 1 out of every 1,000 people coming to me, only maybe 1 out of 10,000. But that 1 out of 10,000 people that come to me are going to have their heart in it. They're going to go, you know what? I got it. I got it, Dr. Wolf. I got it. Okay, it's about self-love and self-care. And you do that, you're not harming your family, you're not harming the world, but if you can take that on and it can be in every fiber of your being, and you can hold the line for 9 months, you'll find your authentic self, you'll birth the new you, and then you'll become the light for your family. And if you don't do that, what have you done? How does it feel to be powerless? Well, you're only powerless because the love of power has got you, because you believe that you're insufficient, you're not smart, or I don't know, pretty, or you don't have enough energy, or you have some genetic disease. And there is no genetic diseases, they're just epigenetic. Why don't you find me a genetic disease, and then I want you to scientifically prove it to me before you start just blah, 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 and having diarrhea, which everybody else has, coming out of their mouth, because that's all that we get. I don't watch TV. I don't go to medical doctors. I've only voted once in my life. When I was 18 years old, my mother begged me to do it. I'll never vote again, because my vote's for me. My vote's for unconditional love. And I already know that you can't fix something that's not broken. So why would I even put any energy into it? Because the government's not broken. The government has a government inside the government, and they govern you. That's what it means, but you don't get it. So nobody's going to govern me. I'm going to create what I want to create. I'm going to do what I want to do. And that's love me and try to love you, universe, everything. That's how you bring your vibration up. That's how you heal. Think about the people you hate, the things you hate, the things you don't like. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. You know what? I'll go along here throughout the day, okay? I'll go throughout the day here, and I'll tell people, I'll go, did you hear what you just said? I didn't mean that. Well, if you didn't mean it, don't say it. Would you like me to keep reminding you? Absolutely, because they know I'm not picking on them. They know that I've been working on this for how long? I've been working on this stuff for like 40 years. You know, when I was younger, I didn't want to kill myself, but I said to myself, I can't live like this. I can't live like this. So it doesn't matter, and just understand this, it doesn't matter how much you love yourself and care for yourself and live a great life. Don't think that you're not going to have chaos around you. You have emotional beings that you live with. You do get that right. And you do understand that most emotional beings, okay, on this planet, don't understand its energy and motion. And they don't understand that their personality is not their personality. Their personality was made up of the 5 prominent people that were around them until the age of 7. Like, you know, the Jesuits say, and the Catholic Church says, give me a child till they're 7 and we will own them for life. And then send someone to school for 12 years. That was studied by the Rockefellers. Send somebody to school for 12 years and you've got a robot programmed. So understand something. Don't tell me about Mayo Clinic, because I just have so many people being tortured, okay? All right? And then the Children's Hospital. And don't tell me about giving money. When you give money, do you know where it goes? Do you know where it goes? Hey, what if I were to say, give us money, and I'm a natural health clinic? They'd say, what a scammer. What a scammer. He must be a cult. He must be a cult. Okay? What if I were to work on someone like the lady the other day that got intravenous, and now they're going to have to cut her hand off because the whole thing went black, but the medical system's not responsible for it? What if I did something like that? Well, let me put it to you this way. Since I've been here for 1.5 years, there was a lady who had no therapy from us, but she passed on. Then there was another guy who came, and then he did a whole bunch of, he lived off the juice bar. Okay, then he had some therapy, but then he stopped, and then 2 to 3 months later, he OD'd. Okay, all right, how's that? And then I had another gentleman who came, and when he came with a gray bulbous nose that was swollen. I said, have you had a heart attack before? No. I said, you might have a heart attack. And he goes, I want to do some therapy. I said, you're not doing therapy until you go to the hospital and have that checked out, because you look like you're going to have a heart attack. He lied to me after I talked to his daughter. And the reality is he already had a heart attack. And the reality is he had a heart attack that night. And I said, go to the hospital right now. And then people that would like to see us not succeed, you know, it was easy enough to do. There's a show called Marketplace. I've said this before, but I just want to let you know. They haven't come out with it yet, but they're trying to get all their information, right? Get enough information to prove that I'm the big scammer, you know, making cures and taking people's money and feeding off the victims. Really. You know what? I'm going to tell you something right now. In the health business, you know what? For one thing, you couldn't do it even if you wanted to. You would never get away with it. I'll tell you what happens. When people like myself, Ty Bollinger, okay, Del Bigtree, I mean, I could keep telling you names. We're always going to get attacked. They're going to do whatever they can, but guess what? It won't matter. Because believe it or not, everybody's our brother and sister. And the only way for you to ever have enough power is to love yourself. Is to love yourself. And to mind your own business. And to find your passion. And to find your purpose. And just smile. You know, it's like this. Right now, it's holiday season, Hanukkah, Christmas. I don't want anybody bashing me. Oh my God, we got to be politically correct, right? I could care about that. And the reality is there's a lot of people hoping that this is the Christmas of all Christmas, that they can feel the highest love of all. Meanwhile, they're going to be exhausted, okay? They're going to run themselves to the ground. And then right now, everybody's thinking about how they wish that they could get along with this person, or they wish that they would be with their family that are displaced right now. And then they start suffering. And understand something. It's easy to fall into that. And then my mind will try to pull me into it. You know, my one daughter, she's trying to get over a drug addiction. My other daughter, she's not talking to me right now. My 2 sons are. But the reality is I love all of them, and I will never have anything except unconditional love for them. I will be there 100%, but I'm not going to tell them that I know better. I'm not going to try to go in and tell them that this is how you should live. But the reality is I want to be here for my family and for everybody if they want it. You know, I've tried to save people because I needed to be the hero. I tried to look for things that are broken so I can fix them so that I could have value. Now I want people that come to me and they go, I have value, Dr. Wolf. I have value, and I want you to teach me how to value myself so I can teach my family how to value themselves so that they don't get sold off by the pound or go on drugs, okay, whether they are street or over the counter. And that's the bottom line. I wish everybody a marry whatever you want, okay? All right? And I think that you should just think about marrying yourself and love yourself that much that this year, I'm not going to have a Merry Christmas. I'm just going to marry myself and take care of myself. I'm going to love myself and honor myself and respect myself and become the light, okay? And know this, that I am the hero that I've been looking for. You are all beautiful spirits. And as we leave this planet, we'll be all going back to the same place. I know you believe there's all kinds of different rules for fools. That's all it is. And the reality is, you know, I just want to say one last thing. Those of you that believe that the bad guys are going to get it, they're not going to get it. So you need to get it. And what you need to go get is the love for yourself, and mind your own business and allow the chaos and the drama and the trauma and everybody that wants to join a war and go and spill blood, let them do it, because that's what they're going to do. And mind your own business and have a beautiful day and stop feeling sorry. What's wrong?
That's okay.
What?
That's fine.
Then don't do this. Okay. And learn to mind your own business. Learn to mind your own business. And that business is that you were created by that which created the universe, and you are part of it. And if you actually believe that that which created the universe has so much time on its hands that it has ever judged you, then guess what? I'll say a little prayer for you. I want you to have the best holiday ever. I'll come on and do lighter one-a-days maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. Maybe I won't. I'm not really sure. Sometimes when I don't come on to speak, it's because, guess what? I feel like I'm out of balance. And if I'm out of balance, I don't want to speak because I don't want to say the wrong thing or come off wrong. But just know this, know that from the bottom of my heart, everyone, even my attackers, I send you love, and I hope that we can all be united someday. But guess what? But for the time being, do you mind if I just love and care for myself so I have enough energy to pull off the things that I want, because this is my adventure? So why don't you love and care for yourself and find the power, because guess what? It's an inner standing, not an outer standing. It's not an understanding. Oh, I just love this. The government go, do you understand? Do you understand? No, I will never understand. That means underneath them. We're going to have understanding because we're all equal, and you are equal to me. So if you call me, if you come here, we are equals. I am nobody special, okay? I'm just somebody that wants to hold the line, Braveheart. Find your Braveheart roar. That's what you need to do. Let me just see if I can go to the end here. I don't want to tell you all the things that are going on. You know, we're doing a world tour. Okay, I'll be traveling for a year around the world doing free lectures and whole life coach trainings and non-surgical trainings, but I can't even go through that today because who wants to hear that anyway? You've got places to be and things to do, but the first thing you're going to do is love you. Can you please bring up the last slide? Huh? Now, the last slide. The Braveheart Oath, can you bring it up on me for it right now? Okay. All right, so I want to thank everybody for, that wasn't a rant. That did come from deep in here. I just want you to know that, okay? All right? So I just want to end this and know something. When are you going to become first and foremost in your life? When are you going to stop trying to save things that should not be saved? Or when are you going to stop trying to fix things that aren't broken? They're just toxic. They're just bent. They're just twisted. And that's the way it's going to be. Welcome to a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure called Planet Earth, where you better start putting a hug on yourself, where you better start loving yourself, where you better start looking in the mirror, not just combing your hair, brushing your teeth, and you say, I'm going to love you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to respect you. I'm going to honor you. And I am not going to lower my vibration for anyone or any family member ever again. I'm going to protect this. That's when you know. That's when you're honoring that which we call God. And that is my philosophy. So you can say poo-poo on you, Daryl, and I'll say fine. Because it's my story. Now you find your own story. I am love. I am healed. I am Braveheart. Today and every day, from the moment I rise until I gently close my eyes, I will trust, honor, respect, protect, forgive, and totally love myself. First and foremost, before anyone else, before anything else. So help me God. Because I am, I can, I'm healed. I am Braveheart. Find your roar, because you're so much more. And let's start the new year looking for the real you. God bless. You know, it's not good enough to have the most powerful courses, treatments, and training. We want to deliver to you the adventure of a lifetime that's going to last a lifetime. And I'm going to take you on a little adventure right now and show you what we are going to deliver. What are we going to deliver? We are going to deliver the authentic you, the real you, the genius inside. How would you like to become not just the master of your mind, but the master of your body, the master of your life? You know what? The most important world is your world, and we're about to show you how to create it. Never limit yourself to beautiful, because that's what you are. Take a look at this beautiful place. We all deserve beauty in our life. You need to create a new program that is unlimited when it comes to things that are beautiful, things that make you happy, things that make you shine, things that make you feel excited. Let's get excited. What I've learned in my life is this: to be the change you wish to be the change you wish to see, Braveheart, you have to understand you take life one step at a time. Never lose your focus. Never lose your dream, because you are the dream maker. It's called image, but guess what? It's your imagination. The image that you hold creates the thought that you live with. That thought creates an emotion that creates a frequency, and we know that the invisible creates the physical. I mean, that's quite obvious. So be the power that you seek, and understand something, that all your thoughts matter. And guess what? Unless you're willing to take a look at those thoughts and retrain your brain, change your personality, you'll never change your reality, and your reality could become infinite. You were created by your Creator to create. So let's create something amazing together. So tell me what you think of the destination that I came up with my imagination to hold the whole life coach certification for you. Understand something. It's all about beauty. It's all about adventure. It's all about stimulating the mind, okay? And understanding that your mind is unlimited. And that is what the whole life coach certification is all about. In the whole life coach certification, we are going to go deeper. We have people coming to us, professionals coming to us, from doctors to nurses to accountants to oil riggers to mothers that want to expand their life. And when they come here, they go, I need to learn to help my family, or I want to improve my business. But guess what? We get into their business. When they leave, they become the change that they wish to see, that they wish to be. They become the gift to the world, because when you can stay in the present, and you can't do that until you have unconditional love and care for yourself. And I'll tell you something right now, I have hardly even found 1 out of 1,000 practitioners or even so-called whole life coaches that can hold the present moment and own it and then give it as a gift. And this is what I'm going to give to you. And when you come here, this is where you're going to come into this room when you need to find alignment, you need to find balance, and you need to get back into your lion heart breath, because we're going to go deep into your heart and we're going to become the spark that you seek. Come play, come stay, come train with us today. Understand something. I know we have fear, but understand, that's just false evidence appearing real. I get it. Stick your toe in, feel the water, but then I want you to dive right in, because you're the answer that you've been looking for. Let me teach you how to fly. What does that mean? First, love yourself, Braveheart. Let's take life in and win. I had a dream 3 years ago that I would live in Mexico and I would have this training center, this teaching center, this treatment center that would touch the world. Your dreams are never too big. And when they start to create a little bit of anxiety, turn them into excitement. And get excited, because this is your life. And this, my friend, when you take on the dream of all dreams, and you realize that if you stay connected to your breath, that you can have it all. Do not let anybody take your breath away. Do not let anybody steal your dream, okay? Listen, God gave you imagination. This is your sandbox of life. Take your life back. Right now, we are teaching courses to people that have come from all over the world, and the government is saying you can't travel, you can't breathe, you can't have this, you can't come together. Yes, we will. And we will do it with unconditional love for each other. And we will learn to grow. We will not judge each other. We'll observe and see where we can support each other. But at the same time, we will hold the Braveheart line, because this is the only way that we can grow. So find your roar, because you're so much more. And learn this. You are the unconditional love that you've been looking for. You are the dream maker. I can't wait to see you. We want to become that small piece of the puzzle that brings your dream together. Thank you.